Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. This is Jacob Graham here, and it's the 18th of May, and I'm here to show you guys exactly how I think is the best way to learn PowerShell. So, first thing off the bat is having a wallpaper like this. Notice that I've made my own PowerShell wallpaper. It may not be pretty, may not be perfect, but it's very, very helpful. You stare at this picture every single day. It makes you a lot more comfortable with common PowerShell commands. In particular, these are the ones for the exam I'm about to take, which is the 7410. So making PowerShell wallpaper, I highly recommend it for all the commands that are hard to remember. For instance, new NetSwitch team and add NetSwitch team member. Those can be confusing because they're very similar. Same with new AD computer and new and just add computer. One adds a computer to a workgroup or domain. The other one creates an Active Directory computer. So anyway, that's one big thing I can give as advice. Another thing is understanding this little tool down here is really nice. PowerShell ISE, or Integrated Scripting Environment, is very neat. You can use something called Intellisense, and it can actually fill out commands as you type them, which is pretty cool. So we want to make sure that Intellisense is on first of all. I forget how to turn it on. I think, yeah, start Intellisense. So it is on. So if you go, let's see here, if you go get dash, you see how it just kind of gives me a couple guesses and I can kind of choose through them. Get AD user, but it's asking what? What did you want me to get? So anyway, once you have that in your head, you can pretty much go through here and have a lot more easier time making PowerShell commands because it'll guess them for you. You can also search them over here. So if you wanted to say stop dash computer, or maybe you wanted to stop your network load balancing cluster, all sorts of different stuff like that. So, and then the other thing you could do is you can save, like I have a couple useful PowerShell commands saved. So what I'll do is I'll actually just select it here, and then I'll click Run Script, but I actually don't want to stop the family computer right now because my kids could be using it. So, but you know, that's pretty cool too, and then you can just kind of keep your PowerShell scripts where you want them. You can have different ones, right, and you can just kind of highlight them here. You can have many different commands on different lines too, and then just highlight the one you want and click Run Script. Very, very easy to use this, because PowerShell is kind of hard and, you know, difficult to remember. And for the most part, I think a lot of admins kind of just ignore it because it's just so hard, and up until recently, Microsoft hasn't really been making us use it. Now they are. So that's one thing that I think will really help you. You can actually add Windows PowerShell ISE to Windows 8, to any Windows computer pretty much. I think Windows 7 you can too. I'm not sure. You'll have to check it out. But actually, most computers already have it. You don't have to install it. So you would actually just go to here. You go to your run line, and you type in PowerShell ISE. Should come up. Yeah. And that's how you would find it, because it's actually hidden by default. I apologize, I made a mistake. You do not download this now that I think about it. It's in most computers, newer computers anyway. So check out that, play with that. That's really great. The next tool is the best one I want to show you. And this is only available. Now, you can install this if you have Windows 8, but you kind of need a database to tie it into. But here you can see I have a couple I've made: Slayer Band Group, Slayer Band User. And as you create these users, it actually tells you the PowerShell commands that you use to create them. And so normally when you come here, it won't look like this. It'll look like this: Windows PowerShell History. So you'll have to click this, and then you'll have to click Show All. Make sure that's checked. And then when you go and you create a new user, so we select, you know, the OU we want to make them in, and then we'd go New, let's say computer. Let's make a computer name. Let's call it Broken Computer. Okay. I didn't like the space. So Broken Computer is the name of that one. So you can go through here and check out the different kind of stuff. You can also go and do manage by or member of from here. So you could put them in a certain group or something like that. And then when you're done, you'd click OK. And you'd see it went and made this new group here. New AD computer, or not group rather, new AD computer. See how it says broken computer? And if you expand this, you'll actually be able to see the full command that was used. So new AD computer dash enable $true, colon $true, and then dash name, colon, in brackets, broken computer, quotes rather, and then path, colon, and then in quotes again, OU equals home, and then it just kind of says the distinguished name there. OU equals home, comma, DC equals Graham, DC equals net. And then the SAM account name is broken computer. It's basically the net BIOS name. And then specifies the server. And so this is a really good tool if you want to get deep and dirty, down and dirty, and look at all the commands you ran. And as you can see, it actually shows a timestamp. So if you're not sure when you created it, you can always go back and look way back and look exactly what happened there. And I found these were some really cool tools to learn PowerShell. So to review, number 1 was the wallpaper. Make sure you make a good wallpaper. Number 2 was to use the PowerShell integrated scripting environment. And number 3 was to use the Active Directory Administration Center as you create user accounts. I really recommend, if you're training, to use this to create your user accounts. I didn't want to use it at first because I had studied for 2003 and 2008. It was very useful to the Active Directory users and computers tools that are available in previous legacy versions of server. However, with this tool, I've really realized this is the way to go if you want to really have a strong understanding when you come to your exam on how to create users, groups, computer accounts, and all sorts of things in Active Directory. Pretty much anything you'd want to create in here in Active Directory, whether it's a contact, or it's a group, or it's a computer, or it's a printer, or whatever it is, I recommend doing it here. Obviously, you wouldn't create a printer, but you could probably look at one in here. But I recommend doing it in here, like I said, because you can see the PowerShell commands exactly as they are, as they rolled out. So those are the 3 things that I recommend to help you with your server exam if you're taking one, or just to have a better understanding of PowerShell in general. PowerShell is definitely the way that different network operating systems and desktop operating systems like Windows 8, Windows 7, network operating systems like Windows Server 2012, 2012 R2 are going to be heavily utilizing PowerShell. In Windows 7 and above, I believe it is where they broke off from using command prompt commands for everything, and now everything is PowerShell. So anything you click on, anything you do has a PowerShell command or script behind it. Okay, I hope you guys liked my video. Please rate and subscribe and let me know what you think, and let me know what you guys want to see, alright? Happy studying!